So I'm doing this with a little bit of trepidation because apparently doing anything on Doug is going to cause a firestorm. So, for those totally not initiated, Doug was a very interesting independent critic of Scientology and a very fascinating person who researched all cults, usually from a hostile point of view, but dabbled in a little bit of everything conspiracy theories, cults, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, Doug passed away a while ago, but his spirit lives on, and although he has a lot of content spread out, this is technically some new content. Apparently, he was working on it with a few people. I know Dana, because she worked with Dark Tony, is a controversial figure, and I've heard mixed things about her, but I think it's more important to just hear Doug's work. So we're going to listen to a short excerpt of one of his last recordings. So please sit back and enjoy.
And videos and documentaries that have come out, even recently, there does appear to be a reason why there's so much smoke kicked into this and dirt kicked into this
Yeah,
information. Why do you have any insight on that, by the way?
there are just a couple of tiny things that I have. Maybe I don't even have a problem with them, but I can see why there's due. Like when he talked about the Iron Maiden lyrics,
As I said, Doug was somewhat controversial because he kept going into areas that other people considered a little weird, esoteric, or too marginal or controversial. So, although he passed away as an allegedly beloved figure, I don't think most people appreciated his work. So, it just seems he was given a functional kind of farewell, but people just moved on very quickly. I felt kind of weird about the whole thing. I never reached out to him, and I feel ashamed I didn't, but he was very overwhelmed, and I was just humbled to listen to him. So now we're going to hear Dana give a little bit of the background of why the recording happened and the reasonings of it being released. And again, I'm not asking people to subscribe to her or forgive her or whatever. I have to go through more data in terms of what happened between her and Doug, but apparently things were patched up as well as with other people. But again, I've heard conflicting things from Alonzo and other people about where Doug stood at the end of the day.
Doug needed so much time alone, away from people. So Doug was pretty much at odds with his life in California. It wasn't the same. It was never going to be the same. He didn't mesh. I asked him if he might leave, but he said he felt that he would stay in the belly of the beast, and that's what he called it. Doug was 100% against the. He was vehemently against the use of pharmaceuticals.
Right. So again, I don't want to mislead people. This is on Dana's channel. She's got the content. Good on her for releasing it. As far as I know, it's not done to exploit Doug. It's just one of his final pieces, and she preserved it, and it was released with the intention of being respectful to him. I realize with Doug, it's a really touchy subject that unless you, quote, follow a certain structure, you're disrespecting or being derogatory, apparently. Not sure how. I think Doug always wanted open minded people. But yeah, he definitely had certain principles and stances which I agreed with, and some which I did not. And I'd have to end on a final note. It's a little depressing that one of Aaron's first guests is Mr. Gold, who I think gave a very weird, flawed tribute. And I agree it was more bad than good, but I do think he should have kept it up. I will try to revisit it because I do think important issues were raised, although I think he distorted the issue slightly. I do think it's important to not just remember Doug, but move on and contribute to his work as best we can.